Hello again. Fancy seeing you all here. If anybody missed it, I was streaming this morning, and I'm going live again because I want to play some Zelda. So, hi. Thank you all for being here once again. Hi, Barry. Hi, Bailey. Hi, Pa. I hope we're all doing good. Yeah. Slay. I know, dedicated streamer twice in a day. Yes, yes. I don't know how this has happened really, but I want to play some more Zelda, so here we are. I got the itch again yesterday. And I wanted to play it again, so here we are. Crap, thanks. Thanks. I don't know, I don't view it as like a mega grind set or anything. I want to play the games. I want to play them. Sick. Awesome. Ooh. I need to do something because I keep forgetting to do it. Sorry, I'm gonna do some literal admin while we're just yapping away. But hi, I hope everyone is doing well. This right? Is this what I'm supposed to do? Okay. Stream retail shift stream again. Insane problem. I know. Well, like I just yeah. Well, right, admin focus because I need to do something. Because I keep forgetting. Not forgetting, but I keep like not finding the time to do it. And I need to do it. Because it's important that it is done. Yeah, okay. No. Yeah, that's correct. Sorry, I know this is riveting content. But, you know. Uh, 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 uh. Okay, done. Submit. A member of the customer happiness team is going to get back to me. Slay. I hope they do. Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, so, should we play some Zelda? Because that's what I would like to do today. I would like to play some Zelda. And how are we all? How's everybody doing? I hope you're all doing well. Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm excited for the things we're going to do in Zelda. So, I might, actually, given what happened last time, let me actually boot the game. Because it took a while last time. Boot. Launch, not boot, but you know. Okay. Flashbang, thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, it's just zooming up the progress bar. Okay, sensational. We don't need to wait this time because it's just done it immediately. Right, you are also going to hear some Windows noises in a moment, as per usual for me, I'm afraid. It's just something that we have to live with. Pro controller. Okay, Windows noise. No Windows noise? Okay. Sure. Close that. Close that. Okay, there's one, but I did think I'd get two. Oh well, it's loaded. So, let me pause the music. And make our way over to the gameplay. Yippee! So, where we left off yesterday. Ooh, I can redeem another stamina piece. Huge. Okay. Yeah, where we left off, we were going to go to Hateno Village and then hopefully make our way to Eventide Island, which I'm very excited to do. I'd like stamina. Yes. Whee. Nice. We got 2 stamina wheels. Sensational. Oh shit, sensational. It's pissing it down. Oh. You have a quest? Hello. When's food? I'm bored. Wanna play? Yay, what'll it be? Let's play tag. Oh shit. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Tag. Yay! I'll start running. But I've got to go home to Sis when it's dinner time, okay? What am I doing? Am I trying to play tag with the child? Oh, there you are. Boo, you caught me. That was so fun, though. But this is my secret treasure. Here, you can have it. Crunchy Crunchables. Right. That... What the fuck? Okay. Sure thing. Just played with the child and got given some salt. Like, okay. Why not? Horse, let's go! Okay, we are also going to just go and say hi to Beedle because I want to see how much they sell for. I think it's like 300. But I can't remember. So, yeah, my plans for today. A Tenno, Eventide. Maybe do the mountain. What's the mountain called? The one over there with the snow on top. What's that mountain called? Oh, God. Mount Lanayru. There you go. Yeah, we might go and do Mount Lanayru today because I remember loving Mount Lanayru. It was one of my favourite parts of my first playthrough. So I'm very down to do that again. Ooh. And then maybe make our way to the Farron region. Was my other thought. Oh, you got bombs, haven't you? Yep, you do. You got bombs. Right, let me go find Beedle. Hello, Beedle. Hey, what? Oh, yeah, I've got a beetle. Nope. I'm not trading. Right, look what I've got. I've got 300. Okay, 300 for one of them. Right, what have you got? 70 arrows. Will that get me through Eventide? Yeah, that'll get me through Eventide. I think. I'm gonna make it get me through Eventide. It's so nice here. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. Right, I need... This is right, isn't it? Or is that going to make dubious food? If it makes dubious food, I've got 2, so I'm not super bothered. Please work, please work. Okay. Amazing. Mighty Stimmered Fruit. Critical Cook. Stamina up for 30 minutes. Exactly what I need. Don't see a lot of travellers. Yeah. You know, with how peaceful it is around here, it's sometimes easy to forget that the world almost ended years ago. There are still monsters wandering around, and the area near Hyrule Castle is especially dangerous. I should know a thing or two about elixirs. I can make elixirs by mixing bugs and other small creatures with monster parts. Most of them are no good for refilling your health, but they can have a lot of unique effects. Yeah, I know how to do that. Oh. Okay, thanks. I like galloping around on my horse. It's fun. Oh, hello. I think it's very rude when you do that. It looks fun. It is fun. It is, as I've said before, like driving around on GTA, but you ride around on horseback. It's great. I enjoy it. Oh, hello there, Sleepy Bokoblin. Oh, I can fire beams right now, can't I? Oh, okay. I think I've touched a horse since I got the Master Cycle, to be honest. Well, that's true. And when I get the Master Cycle, that does damage... Okay. When I do get the Master Cycle, which I'm going to do in this playthrough, who knows what will happen. But, for now at least, horse. And, oh my god, Trial of the Sword. I'm going to do that as well. It's going to be so good. Do you think I've got enough hearts right now to do Trial of the Sword? I don't think so. Horses can't wheelie. What do you call that then? That was a wheelie. But, with my hooves. Yeah, no. The Master Cycle is very cool. Oh, hello. Are you scared? I'm sorry. Wait, no, because I need some more bananas. So let me actually fight you. Yeah. Oh. Thank you. What maps do I need still? I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Wait, I've been to Akala, but I didn't do the Akala Citadel. Interesting. Have I been to Akala? Yeah, I have. Okay. Not me forgetting I'd been to a whole region. Oof, you're scary. See, that's kind of my problem with Master Mode. Is like, it's not worth fighting the enemies because the amount of hits it's going to take me to get through 2 Black Bokoblins. I'm not going to get that much in weapons back. So, like, is it worth it? I don't know. Kind of no, to be honest. Hello. Yes, I just didn't remember. Exactly. I need to spend money here, don't I? To buy my house. Also, do I have that armor? I do not have the like soldier armor. Oh, I need to do that. Okay. Wonder how much that all costs. Because I'm going to have loads of money very soon, but currently I don't have loads of money. Oh, you a farming hoe? You're a farming hoe. Yeah, an inch court. I've got one, lad. What do you want? Oh, God. Potato sent me a video. Oh, it's only, like, not many videos. Okay. Hey, the name's Telly. I'm a bit of a treasure hunter, if you get my drift. You want to know what I do with all the Guardian parts I find? There's a gentleman who works at the Akala Ancient Tech Lab. He never turns down the parts I bring him. Hey, hang on a minute. You don't suppose he's actually repairing the Guardians, do you? Hey, question for you. Do you have any interest in Guardian remains? What have you got? No. Do you buy the parts for like high prices by any chance? No. For now, farewell. Yeah, goodbye. Right, so the reason we're here, amongst other reasons, is I want to know what this looks like dyed, because I hope there's some alternate fits. And also, how much does all this cost? 200, 250. Oh, very attainable. We're buying them. Yep. Thank you for waiting. Maybe 250. What was that? Oh, it's you. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Hold on a second. Okay. 200. Yes. Okay, slay. Oh, the hair. Ooh, yes now. I like that. I'm not the biggest fan of the actual, like, front headpiece. I don't know. But apart from that, yes. I was looking to add some colour to my wardrobe. Who do you do? Yes, die. Okay. What do you got for me? Choose a colour. Oh, that's pretty. That one. Okay. Whoa. That one's a lot. Seems like a Dark Souls boss. Okay, last one. Oh. I don't know, I'm not the most jazzed about any of them. Although that one's quite nice. Yeah, maybe that one. Yeah. Let's do that. Oh, it would be Silent Princesses, wouldn't it? Fine. Flashbang. Ow. The tins, we hardly ever get that colour to come out. Right. Yeah, I'm okay with that. So then... I wonder if I've been here with this one. I don't think I have, you know. I do like this one as it is. So we'll see what colours there are. No, 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 no. Definitely not. No. Oh, okay. Interesting. Noted. That one looks kind of slay. I do love me some purple. Ooh. Okay. Oh, that one's very Age of Calamity. Yes, I like that one. Yeah, that one. Thank you. Thanks. Oh, easy. Yeah. Adores, right? Hey! Love that. Okay, any other sets that I need to try? I'm sure I've done this one. Yeah, I have, because it's purple. I've done that. So then, just this one left. Please let me change what the headpiece looks like, because I don't like it. Oh, God. Ah, yes. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, that hair's gorgeous. But, like, yeah, get rid of that thing. Also, that one's really giving Joker. Just saying. Like, I mean, maybe I'm just mentally ill and see purple with green hair and I'm like, why so serious? But, like, that's Joker core. But, like, are you joking? Yes. Oh, beautiful. I could just use more bloody Moblin Fangs. Like, oh my God. Okay, it's very physicsy. It's very physicsy. But I might just keep that headpiece on, like, all of the time, because... Like, are you joking? Like, yes. It goes wild with the physics when you move, but, like, Oh God, Anna's sending me more. No, she's not. It's just notified me again. Okay, whatever. Whatever. Yeah, that's pretty. And, like, when I say physics are physicsing, not in the way that video games often do, because, like, calm down. Yeah, no, this just works. Okay. So, what I'm gonna do, quickly... Cute! Love this. Okay, what I'm gonna do quickly, I need a Korok leaf. So let me go into the forest and acquire one. Oh, is that a gold one? Oh, God. How much health do you have? That's a silver moblin, basically. Yeah. I mean... Oh, fuck! Dude. They're not going to leave me alone now. Fucking calm it down. Right, come on. No, that's regular. This is regular master mode. What we're doing right now. What shall I use? What shall I use? What shall I use? This. Whoa. Thank you. Bro has 1 health. Literally is at 1 HP. Bye. Right, what do you drop? Nothing more special than... Bye. The other thing. Right, Korok Leaf. Korok Leaf. Nope. Korok Leaf. There we go, Korok Leaf. Right. So... What's getting tossed? That is. So now we gotta climb all the way up Hateno Village. Like, all of the way up. Which is a bit long, to be fair, but... Oh. Oh yeah, it has calmed down. I've stopped noticing it now. Like, already. Right. Flame Blade. Thank you. Let me cook a bit. Because I, of course, don't need food to do Eventide Island. But I should just have a few more, I think. Do I need anything from the lab? I don't think I do I? What's it called, this lab? Oh, it's called an Ancient Tech Lab. I didn't know if it was only that one that was an Ancient Tech Lab. Have I not been to it? Well, no, I have. It's there. Oh. Sorry, I'm a spanner. Thanks, thank you. Okay then, so then I've got to go down here. Whee! And try and find a boat. Hopefully there will be one. Wow, there's so many birds there, fucking hell. No, there's no boats here, are there? Wounder! Absolute wounder. Okay, we're going there, to that island. Oh, nice. They are big fish. Damn. No, don't throw that. That feels good. Right, is there a boat over there? Because I swear there's a boat somewhere that you can take. Rather than just doing this the whole way. Because it's a bit of a long day, to be honest. That is the goofiest fish. Mighty Porgy, okay. Like, what? What is that? Fish, come here. Oh, okay, fine, you. There you are. Hello. Nice. Why it look like that? It is kind of French-shaped, yeah. That is true. Please say there's a boat here. There is. Good. Amazing. Oh, I caught a fish. Okay. Ooh. Oh, I got a blue shell. Yippee. Oh, it smacks some hearts. Nice. Okay, let's go. If Mimi were to be lurking right now, this is Wind Waker. Yes, yes. Oh, I'm fast as fuck, boy. Oh, don't Lizalfo with me. I don't have time right now. Like, I'm so busy, my guy. Oh, Eventide's loading. The business. I think you're replying to something I've said, but I can't remember what I said. Eventide Island. Okay. So. Would look better as busyness. Okay. Right. So, for anyone that does not know Eventide, to you who has travelled to this island, I present you with a challenge. In your travels, you've relied on the equipment you found along the way. Here, you must cast this equipment aside to face this trial with only your wits and whatever you can scavenge. Dude, just undressed me. I offer the orbs to the 3 altars on the island. Only then will I acknowledge your skills and return your items. So, I am now without clothes in the middle of nowhere. Fortunately, I think I can just leave. And then the guy's like, okay, you're good. I'll return your stuff to you. Wait, I thought he did it a bit sooner. Yeah, give up. Yeah. That's it then. Very well, I shall return your equipment to visit the island again should you wish to prove yourself. Really? It fully reloads me? Okay. What? No. No thanks. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be next to the shrine that I've not completed yet, because I'm not technically here. No. Scammed, you big scammer. There's no way I can make it all the way over there. Okay. Literally scammed. Okay, there was a reason why I left. And I shall explain it to you momentarily. Once we get back there. That boat better be back there again. If the boat's not there, I'm fuming. Eventide speedrun. Potentially. I have my ways. Let's say that. Whee! Get deceased, nerd. Okay. So, are we ready to do all this again? I sure am. Sailing around at the speed of sound. Da, 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 da. Why am I going so slowly now? Thank you. That's better. So. What we gotta do. Is just drop shit on the floor. It's so simple. Just drop shit on the floor. Then when he takes all our items, we can be like, psych. You fool. So I need that. If it falls in the water, that's okay. It's not ideal, but it's okay. So I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that. I'm going to need that. Probably that. Because if I drop too many, it will start to delete things that I dropped. I think I'm allowed 10 things on the floor. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll have... Oh, yes, I'll have that. And this includes bows and shields as well. So I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that. And I'll take that. Okay. Yeah. I should have saved before I did that. Because just in case it all went wrong. And I lost all my shit. Yeah, I've heard you the first time, fella. And it's all still there. Woohoo! Imagine you're a monk that's a bajillion years old. And you've just been absolutely scammed. Thank you. Thank you. Cheers. Thanks. Now, is that everything? I think it is, right? Yeah. So, things to note is that I do have bows. I currently have no arrows, because you can't bring arrows with you. You can't drop the arrows onto the floor, of course. So, I think we just crack on. And, of course, I've got no armor. So that's why I dropped loads of heart up food. Oh shit! I cooked that meal, didn't I? The 30-minute meal that was like attack up for 30 minutes. Because I think if you eat it before you go in, I don't think it removes the effects. And yeah, it turns out I'm just a silly idiot, but oh well. Oh, you see me immediately. Okay, well. Oh, they've got bombs. Well, I think you came out that worse than me, lads. So, crucially, don't waste weapon durability, because I've only got so many good weapons. 2 hits and you're done. Oh, okay. Dude! Oh my god. Okay. So then at this point, I would, like, you know, take all of these shitty weapons. But really, a Boko Spear does like 3 damage, so do I really care? Like, Traveler's Sword. Yippee! Oh my god. I don't know how you just meant to do this on Master Mode. Oh shit. Like, I actually don't know. Thank you. So, yes, I need to get 3 orbs as well and put them on the things. And those guys didn't have any orbs because they were little tiny babies. But I think there's a camp with orbs up here. Oh, do you want to, like, not do that? Ow. What's that? What the hell's that? Was it just a plant? that? Because that's not a plant. Oh, shit. Yeah, don't do that, Zelda. Don't do that. I don't know what I'm looking at right there. Oh, yeah, there's an axe there, but like... Oh, it's becoming stormy, so I can't use metal things. No, that's cruel. That's just mean. Everything I have is metal. Nearly. No, don't drop it. No, 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 no. Unequip it. Unequip it. Unequip it. Don't drop it. Unequip it. Okay. If I go back over here... Jesus. Do you, like, become not stormy? Oh, okay. Okay, you're not metal. Stop it! Oh, one thing I do have, though, to be fair, I do have bombs. Which are not, of course, made of metal. Like, no shit. Oh, yeah, Shrek's here as well. Let's actually... Should we get Shrek? Well, I can't, because... Well, I can. Alright, fine. Let's do Shrek. What, tier of Shrek are you? Oh, you're a black Shrek. Jesus. Okay, let's go. Okay, oh, I don't have any arrows. Oh no, I've made a big mistake. What if I give you a bomb? What happens? Nothing. You don't care. I didn't think about the whole arrow situation. I didn't think about that. Like, because I know where to get 10 arrows on this island. I can get myself 10 arrows. Oh, and I'm running into that. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't know how you didn't see me, but oh well. Right, there's 10 arrows over there. So I'm going to go over there and get them. Because I need arrows. Like, now. And I think I shouldn't fight... Oh, shit. I shouldn't fight Shrek straight away. I swear it doesn't always storm in normal mode. I do know that, yeah, some Hinoxes have ankle armor. Which that one did as well. Which is a problem. I recently discovered you can burn them. You can! That's true, actually. I forgot about that. And wouldn't you know it, I think I brought a flame blade with me, didn't I? Right. A chest with 10 arrows in it. Amazing. Oh, and see, over here it's sunny. But on the island it's always stormy, because fuck me anyway. Oh. That was rude. It made total sense, but that was rude. I wonder where the weather trigger is. And if I could avoid it, but surely I can't. Oh, stop that. Right, so what do we have? We have... I'm seeing blue Hinoxes. Oh, you're going to have to stop it. Oh, shit. Right, well, you've seen me. So, this is the plan. Oh, you all got bows. Oh, shit. Right. Let's farm arrows then from these lads. I was hoping I could lure them down here. I think you can only get so many arrows before they're like, no, you've had enough. That does a lot of damage. I didn't actually cook anything. Oh, no. I didn't think about that. Do I actually have other cooking pots on here? Okay, right. Sending is happening. Okay, you're not dropping them anymore. I wonder where that weather trigger is then, because I've not hit it. Which is great for me right now. Oh, and you wiped the inventory. My whole inventory, but not the paraglider. Okay, cool, interesting. Right, how am I going to deal with you as well? Oh, I should just run away. Oh, brilliant. You wouldn't. Well, that kind of sucks, doesn't it? Go on, can I? No. Okay, dude. Dude. Come over here. All of your friends are dead. All of them. No one's coming to you to help you. Lad. Like, you could argue that that's a bit harsh, what I just said. But I don't care. Okay, so that's one of you done. One camp done, I mean. But where's a cooking pot? Is there one? There better be one. But if there is, I don't know where. It's probably at the top, isn't it? Soldier's bow. Okay, noted. Useful. We're gonna go slow. Okay, we're gonna go a bit faster. What are they? Swift violets. I don't really need swift violets. But... oh my god. You just see the orb floating on Shrek there for a moment. Or... What was I saying all to? I don't know. Right, that dude needs to not see me. Oh, and there's a dude here. Right, I need a big weapon. There's a moblin there. Oh, it's a black moblin. Fuck. Yeah, just go sleep. Just go to bed. Good. Right, so who do we have? 2 blue guys and a black moblin. That's actually really not too difficult. If I could steal your shield, that would be amazing. Mine. I didn't jump. No, give. Oh, and there's a black moblin as well. Black bokoblin as well. Oh, there's a lot of them. Right, you gotta go. Like, right now. Awesome. Yes, throw him. Toss him. Oh no, you're coming, aren't you? Okay, we're good. We're good. If this dude gets like 1 hit on me, I'm going to die. But we won't allow that. Because we will instead spin to win the shit out of him. Ooh. Oh, fuck. Yes, perfect. Easy. So, according to my calculations, there is only 1 more guy on this island, and it's Shrek. So I think we're actually going to be okay. Barry, what do you mean you're so sad for this? I am the biggest pro. Oh no, my tree branch is damaged. Get off, thank you. See, do you know anyone else that could do Eventide without dying? Don't mind the fact that Mifa had to save me. And that I cheesed it. But, like, it's okay. Right, so... I think one of the orbs needs to go up there. The Shrek orb needs to go up there. In the meantime, let me light that. No, don't sit by it. I'm going to get a couple of heals. And then absolutely ruin Shrek's day. Did I ask? Yes, I am a jackass. Okay. Oh, hello. Okay, good. So now I just have to aim, as Par rightly says, for this leg. Hey now, you're an all-star. Oh, sit down. Easy. Biggest wounder. And that is the last one. I believe everybody on this island is now dead. And we've absolutely smashed it. And I didn't even need Mommy Urbosa. Right, they must be bones. But because I've got a certain mod on, they must be dry bonesified. Which is why they look weird. That must be what it is. And if anybody's mad at me for not doing this properly, or anybody, God forbid, in YouTube comments that's mad at me for not doing this properly, chill. I don't care. I've always done it this way. Because it's just better. Okay, so... Right, I asked you, Berry, the other day, have you played this game? And you were like, yeah, I played it for like an hour. Like, girl, no, that's not it. Look. Okay. Second orb. I don't know what your problem is. I don't either, but we're going to fix it. Right, because I realised you should probably play Tears of the Kingdom. Berry, right, yeah, actually, Berry, do you know anything about Tears of the Kingdom? Like, have you watched anybody else play it, or do you completely know nothing? Nothing at all. Okay. So, I would always say, play Breath of the Wild before Tears of the Kingdom. But if you've watched me play this, you could just play Tears of the Kingdom. Because then it would all be, like, new and fun. Like, if you wanted to play Tears of the Kingdom at mine, like, now, like, I'd be up for that. Wait, someone's alive? Oh, is it just you? Oh. Okay. Right, all I'll say is one of my favourite gaming moments of all time has come from Tears of the Kingdom. They're like, oh my god, it was so good. Much to consider, truly. Oh, got some rice, very nice. Right, we have to also be very careful because I put the orb in the little dish thing, and that marks the end of the trial. And I'm pretty sure at that moment, no, because it's going to roll away and all the way back down the bloody hill. Yeah, at the moment when I put this in the thing, I think that marks the end of the trial, and the monk will restore my inventory. By that I mean, as I found out the hard way, by overwriting. Oh! There's more, just kidding. As long as that doesn't go in the sea, we'll be fine. Ow. Oh, this is the wrong weapon for the job. Royal Broadsword. Could you deal with him? Thanks. Oh, shit. Okay, one. You know what? I've had it with you. Oh, I've really had it with you. There we go. Amazing. Right, as a gamer, you should do the Rito section of Tears of the Kingdom without knowing it, because it's so good. Right, so I'm going to then drop all these back on the floor, because the worst thing that's going to happen is I need to pick them up again. I should also drop them. Then 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll have that one as well, thanks. Okay. Then orb goes in here. Here. You know, I actually keep forgetting that I've got Rivali's Gale. I keep forgetting that. Which sucks. Wait, Barry, do you own Tears of the Kingdom? Or do you not even own it? You've done well completing the trial. I will now return your things as promised. Right, good. Come, enter the shrine. You own it, don't you? It's okay, you can be honest, you own it, don't you? Right. Things reunited. Oh, you can't member. Oh, okay. Yippee! Perfect. Yeah, I got that. I got all my stuff. I got my food. Amazing. Okay. Oh, I can drop them down onto Shrek. Interesting. Whee! Now, you may be thinking, Snow, why have we done this? Are you going to get the best reward in the entire game for this? Yes, we are. We are going to get the best reward in the entire game. And it's not even that. Da, na, 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 na. And it's not that either. I need to turn my heating off, because it's hot. It's getting hot. No. No. And I should charge up my phone. Right. So, best reward incoming. Because if I now go down here... What the fuck? Not a song. I don't know what song. What's a song? That feels cruel. Okay, we're going to go down here. It's quite pretty when the weather's not horrible. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my travel medallion and I'm going to put it down. Let me open the chest. And get some arrows. Nice. And let me just walk back to that medallion quickly. Just, you know, humour me for a moment. Oh, look, we're exactly where we were. Why did you do that, Snow, you big idiot, you ask? How about another 10 arrows? Yeah, that's right. We're getting unlimited arrows for free. Infinite arrows. Yes, please. I'm pretty sure it's a setting that I can toggle on my Nintendo Wii U, but we're doing it semi-properly. Now, because this is horrendously boring, and we've already got like 100 arrows, I'm going to do this off stream, because you don't want to see this for ages. But we've got 100 arrows, and I'm going to have loads and loads. It's, of course, only regular arrows, not spicy arrows. But that's okay. And I'm going to warp out of here, because I don't care. Okay. So that's the reason why we did this whole thing now, because I was arguably a little under-leveled for that, in terms of hearts. Even though it was fine, because I'm sick. But yeah, I wanted to do that ASAP, because, yeah. Unlimited arrows is very nice. So now we're going to go and climb that mountain. I think that's what we're going to do. Also, we're playing Legend of Rain again. And let me go shopping. Do you have... Oh, you don't. Oh, no, you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah, please. All of them. Thank you. Hello, horsey. Might have to move from the desk. Ew, you at the desk still? Girl, get into bed. I know how much sleep you got last night. Get into bed. That sounds crazy. But get into bed anyway. It does. Oh, I had So, at the end of the day, today at work, it was me and Danielle, Big Slay, and our security guard, Richie. And Richie has a big, like, bulky walkie-talkie that he can use to talk to the other stores, because he's our security guard, and they can, like, you know, give each other a heads up if there's somebody about, like somebody's trying to rob stuff or things like that. And that always goes in the office at the back at the end of the day. And so at the end of the day, we were putting back our store radios, our little radios. And then I said to Richie, without thinking, do you want to give me your big one? And, oh my god, Dan was like, pardon? I was like, no, not like this, no. So, got made fun of for for the rest of the shift for that one? Do you want to give me a big one, Richie? Oh, well. Choking, wheezing, sorry. Sorry. Oops. Well, I didn't want his big one. I just wanted to be, you know, helpful and help him put it away. Like, I didn't want it. Oh, I should cook here. Have him put it away. Yeah, what's wrong with that? Wait, no, this is dumb. I don't need to do that. I should do that anyway. Sorry. Look, okay. I don't know. It was horrendous, because I said it, and immediately was like... But then it was Dan, though, who was like, I'm sorry, what? Like, no, Dan, please. Dan, please, don't do that. Oh, she never misses a sus joke. Never, ever. I mean, her and Richie together... Berry, have you picked up on this? That her and Richie together are, like, menace combo. Oh, yeah, no, her mind's in the gutter. Kind of not gonna lie. They're bad. They're so bad together. Don't seem together often, yeah. No, the vibes are there for sure. The vibes, brackets, insane. Your hair look kind of purple. Let me just, for my own amusement, let me just put a bomb here. I didn't read what you said, to be honest. Oh. Your story ends here. Oh no. To be fair, that does not do as much damage as I like thought it did. But okay. Okay, let's go. Yeah, no, the vibes are insane from those two. Those two together, it's crazy. Oh, we got so much new Pokemon in today, Berry, but they're embargoed till tomorrow. But we got so much of it in. Like, it's going to sell out in like 5 minutes, but we got so much of it in. And I'm like, no, let's not. It's going to get battered tomorrow. Apparently, they're doing one per customer. They're going to just do one per customer. Because it's too much. If, like, the first person comes in and is like, I'll take everything. Like, no, you won't. Like, even Alex. Like, our colleague Alex is getting put on a limit. I think his limit's 3. I think we've said staff, it's 3. But for public, it's only 1 per customer. Okay, I'm going to ride my horse. You had the same couple come back to you 3 times, yeah. like, in the same day? Because that's crazy. If so, that's crazy. Like, surely this isn't fair. Yeah. Like, this is just a Dan rule that we do one per customer, but I intend to follow it tomorrow as well. They leave and come back. Oh, nah, fuck off. We can't be having that. Nope, okay. Come on, horse. Get to galloping. Ready? Thank you. Oh, I'm scared for my horse right now. Okay, we're fine. So, this takes me back, because this path was the first thing I did after, like, the main initial, like, opening quest of the game. Like, once Impa said, right, just fuck off, go wherever you want, I went this way. Cute. You're gonna go to bed, have a good rest of stream. I hope you have a lovely sleep. And yes, we will hang again very soon, I'm sure. Hello, another Yiga. I heard the weather's going to be nice tomorrow. Can't wait. Too bad you won't be alive to enjoy it. The story ends here, hero girl. Oh, okay. I thought they always jump backwards. I guess not. Wait, because I have this beautiful hair on now. Yeah, I do more damage because this fit raises your attack damage. Like, fuck yes. Right, anyway, you're transforming into a mobile viewer, your root cage hurts. What, like now that you are a mobile viewer, or, yeah. Right, what are you? Oh, you just won. Oh, a gold one and a black one, that's fine. Desk posture not good. I mean, my posture's fucked, so. You know. Oh, have I still got my Korok Leaf? Oh, this is going to be huge. See ya. See ya. Like, literally goodbye. Oh, okay, fine. Go that way. There we go. Nailed it. Okay, horse, let's go. Would you like to know a fun fact? That when they were developing this game... Oh, horse. They had concept art for this area. And it was called the Spider's Nest. Like, what the fuck were they planning for this? Like, for this game as a whole, if it was going to be called Spider's Nest. Like, excuse me? Yeah. Basically. Right. Get killed. Oh, that's not water. Oh, okay. Oh, there's the water. Go in there. No, go down the hole. Why are you going that way? Yeah. I think you do too much damage, mate. Right. Get blown. Yeah, there we go. I did it. The Korok Leaf strat is actually just work smarter, not harder. Like, it's so good. Right then. Bing! Oh, I thought you'd go in. Bye. I should have used the diamond sword on him, actually. But oh well. Why was my Twitch mobile in dark mode? Listen, I didn't set it to dark mode, but it should be in dark mode. Ah! Oh, you horrible people. Why have you done that? Why have you designed your game this way? I can't deal with dark mode. I've noticed that about you. Yes, like all your apps are in light mode, and I'm like, ah, every time your phone comes on. Ah. What? Huh? What? Huh? I need to upgrade those. Wait, to upgrade that, I need to fight Lionels. Ugh. Ugh. I mean, I suppose I'll go and fight some Lionels. But, like, I don't want to. Yeah, no, I have accepted that about you, to be honest. I have accepted it. Oh, fucking please, Zelda. My god. Right. Okay, I'm not risking that again. So, we're going up here this time. Oh, wait! Hasn't this got Skyward Sword references in the walls? Yeah, I think they're supposed to be Lothwings, aren't they? White text on dark background hurts my eyes. Yeah, well, white background hurts my eyes because it's bright. Oh, hello. Sit down, son. No, flashbang. That would be my preference. But I fear that's not going to be possible with you. Right. So, we're going to do the video game thing. We're going to go behind the waterfall. Wait, genuinely... Oh, you tried to not do flashbangs, yeah. I didn't quite retain what we just spoke about. Yippee! Hello. Where's the shrine? It's down there. Down there. Sorry, that was an awful joke. Down there. Nice, thank you. Well done, thank you. I came up with that myself. I'm proud of me. Berry, while it's just us here, do you want to hear something very cute? Oh. So, you know how earlier you sent that one message that Alex saved in chat because I was obsessed with it. So let me paint you the picture of what actually happened. So I opened the message when I went into the back to get the newspaper, to get the trolley to do the papers. And that's when I opened the message and I was like, I opened the message and was like, oh, I shouldn't have opened this because I need to properly reply to it. So I read it but did not reply. So then I did. What the hell? Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm telling it so badly. So then I went and did the papers, and I was thinking about the message because I was obsessed with it. So did the papers, then I went back into the back, as one does, and used that as my opportunity to actually reply. So then I grabbed the cage and went into the back. No, grabbed the cage and went back to the lift. Oh, it nearly works, that. Can I shithouse this? Sorry. Yeah. So then I went, wheeled the cage out, got into the lift, pressed lower ground, and then looked back at the cage and there were no papers on it. Because I was that distracted by your message that I forgot to put the papers on the cage. I fucked off with the cage. I know, yeah, I'm quite cute, aren't I? Oh, the shithousery! Oh my god! Yes, now! I broke the system! You're supposed to just get that chest as well and put that chest on. But what if I don't want to do that? What if I want to... Oh, that was weird. Oh, you were already doing that, Barry. You were already doing that, at least. Oh! I mean, it's a pretty sword. Let me toss that, but I will pick it back up again. Well, we both kind of were, yeah. Oh, why'd you have to go and do that? That is a very pretty sword. I would frame that in my house if I had a house in this game. You know what? Okay, I'm going to keep it. Ooh. Sword of Blues tweeted. What have you tweeted, friend? Okay, it's about a game. Cool. Oh, no, you shouldn't have. It was fine. I was behind a desk. No one had to know. Sorry. Sorry. Just a penis joke for you there. Right, I'm dropping the Korok Leaf. I don't care. And I'm taking both the weapons. Nice. thinking when I sent the Donkey Kong meme. Yep. Okay, 2 more shrines, and then we've done half of all of the shrines. Oh, well, that was rude, wasn't it? That was quite rude of you. Can it be the weekend already? I would love that. Fun. Okay. Yeah, Loftwings. Oh, Zelda's so cool. Oh, I love that. So, like... Don't pour it all weekend. Oh, true, because you're in Saturday. Ugh, that's disgusting. I'm sorry. Who knows? Maybe he just, like, will blank everybody again like he was doing today, apparently, when the shop was figuratively on fire, and he just blanked everyone. You know. Maybe he just dies. A little strong? A little strong, but, you know. Right. For legal reasons, I'm not manifesting that. Thank you. Yes, yes, for legal reasons, I appreciate that. That cloud looks suspiciously placed, almost like it's trying to conceal something. Anyway, I'm not doing that right now because it's out of sequence. Ooh, blue Lionel. Little baby Lionel. Okay. I'd say your main's purple, you know. But, like, that's just me. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Oh, fuck you. Oh, shit. He's slower. Is he slower? Or is that just me? Yeah, it's a tree, dumbass. Oh, my God. Whoa. Whoa there. Whoa there, sir. Highest weapon I have is that one. Let's go. Back to the diamond sword. Okay. Maybe just Elaine just doesn't come in for who knows what. Yeah, I don't know what happened with Elaine there. I don't know what, like, the situation was, of course. I hope she's doing well. I mean, Don Paulo's text to Dan, which Dan read out loud, said, like, oh, I hope she's okay, or something. So, I assume she was, yes, unwell, but... Right, let's use that. Which actually does more damage than the Master Sword. In its current state. I'm fed up with that attack. Behave yourself. And that one. Behave yourself. Nope, that one. Oh, I missed. No! Oh my god, that could have been so bad. Wait, no, I've got fairies, it's fine. How did you shoot me off that fast? What's that about? Okay, you're done. You're done. Sit down. Okay, bye. Right, Lionel Shield. Why'd it get so dark? What the hell? Well, a cloud, that's why. But, you know. Ooh, Savage Lionel, I'm having that. And a Lionel Sword, nice. Right, let me, okay, fine. Gerudo Scimitar, you have to go, sorry. Because that's just better. And you gotta go as well, because that's, again, just better. Okay. So let's go and do the coolest part of this whole game, potentially. Oh, it's cold. Let's get... cute. Rolling around at the speed of sound. It's not exactly speed of sound, is it? Cute, I know, right? Aren't you just? Ah, you see what I did there? I implied that you're talking about yourself, not Zelda. I don't know what you mean. No, 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 we're not. No, no. No, no, no. Maybe I'm just getting comfortable. I don't know. Okay, so if I remember rightly, there is nothing to do on this whole mountain except at the very, very top. Methinks. No you. What the hell? Where did I go? I go here. Well, we know how I feel about your voice, so if you want to sing. Well, yeah, that's true. You do have a problem with my voice, don't you? No. Yes. Thank you. White choo-choo jelly, lovely. It probably is a problem, yeah. Hello. Oh, you're icy. Shit. Oh, and a Lizalfos, where are you? Oh, there you are. Flame Blade. I mean, this will get a lot of its health anyway, to be honest, but yeah. Oh, I wish I had snow boots. Oh, should I do that? Should I go to the Gerudo Desert soon and get snow boots? Are you icy? No. Oh, hi, Wolf. Give, 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 give. Thank you. Yeah, you didn't scare me, mate. No, you're not Frosty either. Right, was I getting a hint of certain music then? Yeah. Thanks. Oh, now you are a cold one, aren't you? No, you're not. What? Oh. Oh, you're just a silver one. Fun. Can't wait. Selfie. That's not a selfie, is it? That's the opposite of a selfie. Ooh. Nice. Sure. Oh, okay. The music's so creepy. I love it. Nice. It was not... Well, okay, so I didn't look out of the window until I left for work. And it was not foggy then. Wait, who are you? What are you? Oh, Black Lizalfos. Okay. Well, you see, I was really cozy. So, that's what happened there. It is, right? And I was really cozy. Icy Lizalfos, perfect. And another one, okay. Dude, I hate Lizalfos. But I love it when you can do that. Hello, come hither. Ooh, another one. And then that's a black one. So, back to this weapon. Sensational. Oh, that's a lot of magical Goombas as well. Oh, you got a big weapon. Look at you go. Knight's Claymore, okay. I'll deal with that. Why am I doing that? Right, that's what a photo should be of a luminous stone deposit. It's actually, like, luminosing. Ah, 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 ah. Are you, like, on your way? What's happening? Oh, ew. That's 2. Done. Goodbye. Oh, can I see something there? I can. Okay, are we ready, friends, to get to my favourite bit of this whole game? Oh, okay. Ooh. You've done well to find your way to this spring. You who've overcome numerous trials and obtained the spirit orbs. The one you see before you is an attendant to the Spring of Wisdom. This is Naydra, the blue spirit of Lanayru. This servant of the goddess has looked over the spirits of this land for ages, unknown to the world of man. However, the dreaded malice unleashed by Calamity Ganon has possessed its body and reduced it to this state. You who've received the spirit orbs, free Naydra from this malice. Show what your power can achieve. Ew. It's actually so pretty. But do I have to get up to the top? What do I do? Yeah, do I go up, don't I? Okay. Like, the purple's so pretty. Sorry, of course I'd say that. Good shot. Yes. Replace picture. And away you go. I don't know. I just think this is so pretty. And you never get to fly alongside the dragons. And the music's all spooky dooky. Like, I could end this right now because that's the last one. But, like, you know. I thought you flew somewhere else. Hello. Don't eat me. Oh. Oh, no. Oh. Ouch. That looks like it hurt. I want to fly down the mountain with you. Oh. Oh, I do run out of stamina. Oh, no. I swear at some point you give me my stamina back. There you go. Wait, what? You're not destroying things? The dragon destroys trees? Wow, that's cool. Hello. This is bad. This is a bad idea. Yeah, it was a bad idea. I shouldn't have done that. Oh well. I wanted to try and land on it. Okay, fine. Let's do it. Let's shoot the eye. If it opens. Oh, it's open. Okay. Whee! Yay, it got a worse colour palette. Sorry, no, the blue's still cute. The blue is still very cute. Thanks to your efforts, Naedra, the spirit of Mount Lanayru, has been freed from the grips of an evil power. But a single ceremony remains. Now, loose your arrow through the body of Naedra to free the spirit of the region. So, shoot it. It's fine. It's part of a ritual. Hi. Sorry. Sorry, the goddess told me to. Whee! This is the spirit of Naedra's. This is the spirit Naedra's scale. It fell when your arrow struck. It serves as proof of your courage received from the one who served the spring since ancient times. Come, offer a scale of the blue spirit Naedra to the spring of wisdom. Where's the spirit? The scale. Oh, it's there. Nature scale. Nice. Whee! Pretty. Ooh. Na. Path has shown its way, now go forth. I did it! I'm so cool. I forget what I get at the springs. I can't remember. That's not worth it. Okay. Da na 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 na. Yippee! Okay. So it's now 20 to midnight. So my plan for today was to go down here to Farron, which is a bit of a trek. And I do know that there's another Shrek there that we could fight. And also there's a shrine somewhere. I think maybe down there there's a shrine. But I can't remember exactly where it is. No, let's not do that. Let's go to the thing. Yeah. Let's go and fight Shrek, and then... yeah. Hey, also, that's the tech lab, just there. But it feels like it should be further away, I don't know. But we want to go over to Farron, which is like the other side of those mountains. That's where we're going today. Yippee! Okay, according to my calculations, Shrek spawns in there, just above my paraglider. Like on that little strip of land. Shrek? Yep. Then can Shrek get through here? A blue one. Can you walk through that? Oh my god, you can, you beast. You beast. So much to do, so much to see. Nice. I want to see if this works. It does. Oh my god, if you whistle near near fish, they can swim onto the land and drown. Not drown. What do fish do? What's that fish doing? It's not drowning. What's it doing? I don't know. But like it's an easy way to farm fish. Anyway. I did it because I'm sick. I have a photo of you, I probably don't. Mountain Doe, cute. Although that looks like a weird angle. Okay, horse. Let's go. Hello. Okay. Run away. Oh, let me sort Zelda's hair out. Yes. Direct. Oh my god, horse can jump over boxes? Since, when? That's cool. I didn't know it knew how to do that. I want to take a photo of those blue birds, but by the time I see them and stop my horse, they always fly away. Which is like, wow. There's one, there's one, there's one. No! Okay. It's okay.
Mipha's grace is ready.
Mipha's grace is ready, everybody. Oh yeah, so the music works today. Because it wasn't at the end of last stream. Interesting. Interesting. So my plan is to get to, I think it's called Lakeside Stable, is it? Oh, that's interesting. Hey, Picango. I would like to be able to run through here a bit faster. Gallop through here a bit faster. To be honest. But oh well, it's fine. Yeah, I don't think I've got a Korok seed today. I don't think I've got a single one. That's too bad. Hey, birds. Right, those birds are not rare then. I don't need to flap about those. Hey, horsies. Well, that's a cool horse. Have I gone the wrong way? I think I have. Sorry. Yeah, okay. Just down here. Wow, look at Hyrule. Isn't it pretty? You. Okay, so I'm going to use my knowledge of Hyrule to know that we go across this bridge, then the path turns to the right, but then I can dip off the path. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. Yeah, well, don't come at me, okay? Wait, no, I should run through the forest. Whoa, chill. There's a memory here, right? Hi Snow, I love you. Sorry I didn't respond to your DM. Discord, haven't been there in a hot minute. You're so good, Mimi. You're so good. I hope... Yeah, you're doing okay. And if you are in lurk mode today, that's okay as well. I love you. Squeak. Thank you for the squeak. I appreciate you. Wait, is this not where the thing is? No, it must be. Where the memory is. I'm sure it's in this forest. Anyway. But yeah, hi, I love you. And I hope you had a good day at work. Okay, so now I'm going to cut through here. Wrecked. I'm not impressed with seeing all these gold bokoblins. I can't be bothered. Maybe in Locomotive, I'm so tired. You're so good, friend. You're so good. We're gonna be going to like Farron region. We're gonna go to the stable there, and then we're gonna wind it down because it's 10 to midnight. But I appreciate you being here at all if you're tired, and if you want to go and like flop somewhere else, that's so okay. Yes, go to bed. Yes, yes. Also, whenever you get some time, we should do a call soon, friend. I miss you. But no rush on that. I might flop. Do it. Do it, girl. Flop. Treat yourself. Have a flop. Did you do wow? I know. I know. Imagine adult lives like happening. I nearly applied for a job yesterday, but I decided I didn't actually want the job. So I didn't apply to it. But I nearly did it. I hate being an adult. Truly. Truly. It sucks. I like having money, but fuck. See, I'm sort of the other way. I have a job I don't mind, but I don't have money. Like, I do not get enough of the money from my job. So it's like, oh shit. That kind of sucks. But, circling back to, I don't hate my job. Which is alright. But I've been daydreaming about the dream job, like, a lot lately. Like, a lot. So, you know, oof. Oh, I see you there, Korok. I do like having 3 jobs. I'm doing like 3 jobs for 1 salary. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you got stuck with that. That is awful. That's stinky. And that's stinky of them to expect that of you. It's so stinky, right? But the budget... Well, the budget is wrong, then. Yeah. Whoever's budgeting it isn't doing it right. Trash, yeah. But if it starts to have a really major effect on your mental health, because I know last time you were in a position it got bad. Please also do take care of yourself. Love you. Squirrel! Cute. Okay, so I don't think I've really been this way yet. Oh, okay, it's like that. Right. Understood. Well, if you do, I hope that goes so well. And I'm sorry that it's... You know, I'm sorry that we're there already, because... Yeah. But... I'm proud of you for, like, you know... Yeah, doing that. I'm saying put, yeah. Well, that's what I'm like with my job. Like, I'm not... Yeah, I'm staying at my job. I'm staying there. But, ugh. Yeah, a little look. That can't hurt. To have a little look. That's kind of what happened with me, because I do look. And I saw a job, like, last weekend, and was like, oh, I might want that job. And so I applied for it. Or, well, I started the process of applying for it, and then I was like, wait, I don't think I want this. And if I can't get paid 15k more annually, oh, that would be huge. That would be huge. What the fuck was that? Was that you? You little penis. Oh, I hate these guys. I would like to get paid 15k more annually. Because considering I only earn 1 lot of those 15k, that would be, you know... I don't know how conversions work, but like... An extra 15k is like my whole salary. So that would be a big slay. Ooh, yes. Royal Shield. Give. Give. Oh, Nara. You're so good. It's fine. I hate America. Well, that's true, yeah. I feel like certain things you have to, like, you know... When you adopt me... Girl, if I could, I would. If that were an attainable goal, then yes. Right, let's do this tower quickly. I get paid 50k, yeah, and it's a fucking struggle. Right. I see what you're saying. Oh, God. I see what you're saying. I do like nothing. Like, I'm not a financial example at all. Ooh. Because I live fucking bare bones. Snow bare bones, basically. Like, I spend nothing and don't treat myself is like how I survive. Oh, that's going to be rough to climb up. Okay, let's go a little bit further along. Yes, plea. I plea. You're getting adopted. I do treat myself a lot. See, I don't. Like, I've mastered not treating myself to the point that it's probably a bit sad. But you know, true, you'd be making Sims purchase on a whim. I've been there. Oh yeah, like it sucks that I'm there, but I don't like regret being there because like today I worked a single 4-hour shift and was not awful, you know. So I don't like hate it. Oh, not you. I don't hate it, but I would like to not be there, really. Farron Tower, yippee! Sometimes living simply is great, though. Exactly. Dragon! Dragon! I'm sorry, what now? Oh, right, okay, there's a blood moon. I'm gonna get up this tower then before that Wizrobe spawns again, because fuck that. Yippee! Friends, I can say this on stream because, like, Berry can't force me to answer any further, but, like, I've spent too much money on Valentine's Day. Like, that's where my money's gone this month, just saying. Like, but it's fine. It's fine. Everything is okay. Well, I've not done much. Like, I've not done much, but I've done. I'm proud of myself. Thank you very much. Yee-hoo. Ah. Love you. Love you too. Oh, shit. That's so cute. Maybe we are. It is possible. Imagine the dragon was the boss and was like causing the blood moon. That would be wild. I love same. It's so cute. Oh, wait, Mimi, shall I DM you on Discord what it is that I've done? Yeah, I'm going to. Do it, I'm doing it. And Barry, you're not going to find out. Okay, just for Berry, Mimi said, "Oh my god, oh 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 my god," like quite a lot of oh my gods. Yeah, yeah, quite a few oh my gods. And you gotta wait a week to find out, okay? Yeah, you do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to overhype it. Like, we're not going somewhere or anything like that. I'm not booking us like a holiday. But it's cute. I know what's happening. Well, yeah, no. So, like, no one knows what's happening except Mimi and Vic and Potato and Emma and both of my parents. Apart from all of them, nobody knows what's happening. It's a total secret. Yeah, I think you're gonna love whatever it is. I think you will, you know. I actually think you will. No one knows. Nobody knows. No one is aware. Dragon! Bye, dragon. Whee! Okay. Okay, so we're going to go to the stable. That's going to be the last thing that we do today. Because I think there's a side quest at the stable that I can, like, do quite quickly. I wonder how everyone reacted. Everybody thinks it's very cute. And my parents were like, damn, that's good. Like, thank you. Thank you, parents. That, like, my parents were surprised. Like, okay, great, thanks. I know, besides the whole entire country, no one at all knows. Oh my god, look at him. Oh, he's so cute. He's got his own tail. Oh my god. Okay. I don't see a dragon. Same. Hello. Hey, I've got a map. I've got one. So on this map of yours, do you see Julian Peaks north of here? Well, apparently, that used to be just one mountain a really long time ago. Legend says the a dragon god split the mountain to forge a way through, and that's how it went from 1 to 2. Recently, some are even saying they've seen a shadow of a large creature on the surface of Lake Floria. I wonder if any of that's true. Gee, I wonder. I really wouldn't know. I know, yeah, the parents were surprised in a, like, I didn't know you had Riz like that way. Except my parents don't know what the word Riz means. My parents actually are like, is this Riz? Like, that's my parents. That typed out amazing. Before I said. Same brain. Actual same brain. La mama wow wow. Nice. Oh, 60th shrine. Gamers, this is happening. No, okay. Good. Halt the tilt. This seems quite easy, doesn't it? $60, yeah, 60, sorry. Anything up there? Yes. 60, still nice. Thank you. Royal Broadsword, I'll have that. Like, we take those. Oh, you're getting so choked. Goodbye. Browse. Mm-hmm. Right in the bin. Actually, in the bin behavior. Right, I've never, in my entire 7 years of playing this game, figured out this shrine. I think I've just got it, though. Shit. Do I use this? Do I need you? Because I always just employ a policy of shithousery. Nope. Hey Bailey, hello. I hope you're doing well. The internet went out forever. Ooh, that sucks. Right, is this what I do? Do I do this? No, I don't. Apparently. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, I do. Maybe I do that. Wait, let me on. I want to get on. Thank you. Linguists are pretty right. Right, actually, I unlocked a new thing today. Like, look at the hair. Like, hello, Miss Mayor. Damn. Big slay, right? So slay. But yeah, no, I do miss you very much, Mimi. Like you're busy. No feeling bad at all. But I do miss you and would like to see you again soon. See you? What? Spend time with you again soon. Me teach me how to do. Me teach you how to do this. Yes, it's not too bad, I don't think. Oh, I'm having a skill issue. But I did do it a while ago, and things may have changed since I did it. But yes, yes. I'm not opposed. I am not opposed to a games night, you know. Please, I want to get that. Mods go over my little noggin. I did it, and now I've done it, I can't remember. But really? I slam it down? Okay. Right, so I think what I'm supposed to do is balance this. I think what I'm supposed to do is not that. I think I'm supposed to use this one to wedge this down. And then use stasis on the other one. I tend not to do that. I have a policy of just run, do that, and kind of hope for the best. And it sort of works like that. That's what I always do, and it works. Slay. Slay. Okay. But yes, I'm so down for a games night sometime. Because I only ever play Fortnite with people in the chat right now. So we should do that again. Da na 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 na. Wee. Okay. Right, I thought, Your Honor, I thought there was a side quest here. Of like, climb on top of the thing. Oh no, there isn't. There's just a Korok there, I think. Because the goats, the horse head's got a little beard. Goat, what are you on about? I really like it. I'm so glad you do. I'm so glad you do. I need to fucking make time for shit, and I'm a tired little baby. I am down whenever you are, but I know how busy you are, friend. So, like, no rush. Oh, me and Beetle are on bad terms right now because I've got a beetle in my inventory and he keeps talking about, like, getting it, like, from me. Oh, shit. There is one here. Oh, okay. I've no issues after 6 PM. You can be tired, though. Like, you can be tired from a full day's work. You've just said to me that you're doing the roles of, like, 3 people. Like, girl, you can do nothing after work. That's so okay. I work for like 4 hours and I go to bed. No, I don't. I stream on Twitch. Hi, hello. But you know. Hi, Shay. Right, okay, so. Yeah, but I miss being social and my friends and streaming. I miss all of that from you as well. But, like, I would never expect. Okay. There's my Korok for the day. What if I stream tomorrow? Do it. Do it. I was gonna stream tomorrow, but then I streamed today instead. So I'm free. Just saying, I'd be free. Hee hee. Right. The game is getting saved. Interesting. Yes, yes. Yippee. Okay. Yapping. Music. What music do I want? I don't know. Sure. Weird music. Let's have it. Okay, so. Yes, I appreciate everyone for being here. I've streamed for nearly 3 hours. I'm not going to do, like, Tetris today or something, because I don't want to. No, I want to have a bit of a wind down today, because, like, I should do that, really. But yeah. So, I appreciate everybody for being here. I'm down to yap a little bit, but I don't know what to yap about. Oh, Barry knows. I don't think either of you two were here. But I acquired some magazines from work the other day, and I showed them all on stream. And ever since then, they've just stayed on a pile. Like, I know I've talked on stream before about, like, the chair pile. They've been the chair pile. But the irony of having, on top of the chair pile, the very top thing on the chair pile is a magazine called Declutter Your Life. And it's just in the way all the time. It's clearly, I haven't read it yet. I've clearly not read it yet. But, like, no. Mistakes were made. Barry, go to bed. Go to bed, Barry.
Go to bed.
Go to bed. No, I've just played 2 hours of this game. I want different music. Sure. Where's the other one? Oh. I'm sure I've got a clip somewhere of Vic saying go to bed. I don't know where it is. Is it this one? Is it this?
And in snow streams and stuff, but I feel like it's just been busy times for everyone. Like, Mimi hasn't been live. I mean, Snow, you've been pretty active, but a lot of us have been so busy and not streaming. But Bella, hi, I hope you're doing well. Man, friends had another 9-hour Minecraft session. That's so fun. And Ray, I hope you're doing well. That was such a sweet message. It's nice to meet you, Ray. And
Is it that? What have I done? What have I clipped? There you go, yeah.
All the Europeans are here. Guys, go to bed. Go to bed.
Thank you. Thank you, Vic.
Go to bed. Come on, guys. Oh my gosh.
There we go. I need to add that into my own stream as well. I need to, like, have two to deploy. We can have the Batman one and also Vic saying go to bed. We need this. Everybody needs to go to bed. Even you, Mimi, go to bed. And even you, Bailey, who's on an even further removed time zone from me. go to bed. It's 7 PM and I low-key want it. I mean, that's not the worst. Well, it is. It is. That's bad. But, like, you know. Kind of huge. That would be good. But yeah, no, I should go to bed. Well, I should watch some YouTube and then go to bed because that's how my brain works. What am I doing tomorrow? Oh, I've got work a bit longer. So, I could stream tomorrow night. I probably won't. Because I do still need to do editing. Like, editing still needs to happen. Mimi, I shouldn't do this. Do you want a silly little preview of the video? Of like where we're at. Nice, well done. Well done. Right, because what I've done is I've got to the part of the video where I'm putting in loads of like multiplayer clips. And I literally went onto YouTube and searched, like, silly Nintendo music. That's an insane message, Mimi. I literally put into YouTube, silly Nintendo music, and I found, like, the best music. The pin of shame, for real. For real pin of shame. That didn't do what I thought it was going to do. What have I done? Oh, God. I make it big. Oh, I can. Oh, I can. Make it bigger. I wish my fingers were literally tired. Literally tired. Right, okay. So, we were editing, I was editing a silly little clip of me. And then it all kicks off, okay? I assume my PC is going to be able to play this and also stream, but we'll see. Oh, love it. If it's too loud, let me know as well.
Hello, is this Phasmophobia?
It's so silly.
Hello.
Oh my god, hi
Where
Vic.
are you?
Hi Vic. Oh my god, Vic, you came in at the perfect moment. Vic, I was doing just no, we're not, because it's nowhere near ready. We're doing just like a little show and tell. Just like a little small show and tell of just silliness hours of like where we're at, because I'm being a silly little goof. Yeah, basically just the tip, okay? Just like, you know, just a little bit for a treat. You know, a little bit for a treat. But how are you, lovely? I hope you're doing really well. We are ending the stream, but now I might just not end the stream because I don't want to. But yeah. Hope you're having an amazing day. I hope you're doing good as well, friend. I hope, yeah. If you work today, I hope that lady on the phone has shut the fuck up and that other lady's letting you eat your Doritos in peace. I hope, yeah, everything's chill there because what the fuck. Just chilling at the desk. I love that for you. Vic, we did Eventide Island today on stream. I smashed it. I totally didn't cheat. I didn't cheat at all, but I smashed it. Suffering from your brain, yeah, I know. I still need to fight your brain one day. I do need to do that. Okay. Should we have a little play of a couple minutes of the video? Well, how much do we want to watch of this video? Because, like, I could put us on for, like, a good couple minutes. But I don't think it's that funny. If I keep showing it. Or I can just show you the funny bit. Best views on... Oh, shit. Damn, you were on that, Mimi. My god. Amazing. I got bots, literally. I've been crying at the Wicked soundtrack. I finally saw it Sunday. Ooh. I've not seen that film still. I've still not seen that, but you know. You see, I know exactly what you mean by that, Mimi. I know exactly what you mean because I watched the trailer so many times I was forced to. Because I went to cinema so much last year. So for all the caps, I'm excited. I love that for you. Yeah. I was so built for that. Like, I just watched it over and over and over. Over and over and over again. It's a stage version a long time ago. Ooh, okay, interesting. Let me just, you might notice a small change to the music. But, you know, okay. Oh, yeah, no, I can't show that. I tried to show you a bit of an edit and it wasn't finished, so oh well. What edits am I proud of from this so far? I don't know. Like, when have I been funny? I don't know. We did, that's true. We did watch a clip of you as well. We watched, like... It was you saying go to bed, Vic. It wasn't... Yeah. No, I can't show this one either because it's really cringe. Like, if I'm... Oh, no. No, no, I can't do that. Okay, let's do this. So, we're going to watch a couple silly little clips of me, but then it flows into, like, insane multiplayer content. And I just want you all to appreciate how, like, the vibe change, because it's crazy. You can't hear. You can't hear. Oh, sorry. You can't hear. You can now. You didn't see anything. It doesn't matter. Life-size cardboard cutout of Rick Emma! Oh my god, hi. We're destined never to play this because I want to say hello to friends. Hi, Emma. I hope you're doing well, lovely. How are you? I hope everything's good over there. I was just showing some of my friends some of my video editing because I know you like video editing as well. Just me being silly, basically. But oh my god, I love when Emma's here and Emma gets to meet like all my other friends. It's so cute. Yeah, I hope you're doing good, lovely. I hope you're doing well. I hope things aren't too, like, you know, stressy where you are. And yeah. Oh, Vic, how's your editing going as well? Because I know you said like you could like maybe finish things soon. Yeah. You good? How am I? Yes, I'm doing good. I had quite an easy day at work today. Yeah. Yeah, it was okay. It was fine. Cute. We love. Okay, I'm doing it. I'm putting it on. As in, never gonna give you up. That guy. You know. You know the guy. A good ball game. I can't be perceived. No, I did not know it was there. Editing is fun. It really is. This music always makes me laugh. Barry, you've already seen this as well. I'm sorry. Like perfect waiting music. Right. Let me
This is so
try a
awkward, I don't know what to do.
application of this. The laugh. Shut up. That's how I laugh. Okay. That's a genuine snow laugh you got from me there, and you're making fun of me for it. How'd you feel? Did you replicate a laugh? What's there? Was it a clip from me, do you mean? Have I just done the same laugh again? Because that's probably like if you're doing that exact laugh. Because I think I know the clip you mean as well. I think it's the Ocarina of Time one where I like clip through the floor. I feel so perceived right now. Do you want to see something I've done? Where is it? And Blair, Voldemort laugh is disgraceful from you. No, we don't, Mimi. Horrendous. That's actually a good idea. Fuck. I know, that's the sort of meme that you fuckers are gonna make stick around now. I hate it here. It's been a long time since I've done this, I'll be honest. I hate it here. Ah, shit. Oh, not again. I love it. Okay, silliness. We can move on.
Hello, is this Phasmophobia? Hello, where are you? Misha, would you like to comment on the situation?
The music makes it for me. Goofy ass music.
Incredible, thank you.
Gotta believe in the feeling. When you believe in love after love. When you believe in the jingle bean. When you believe in pain. In the pain.
He's gonna bring all the stuff to the ship. Yeah.
You believe in the pain. This is beautiful. Wow, he.
Okay, that's what we're getting today, folks, because the rest of it is not finished. The rest of, like, that section is not finished, but I'm obsessed. Like, I found that music and was like, fucking yes. Dr. Mario, for some reason, is perfect for this. You want to play both those so much? I don't... Play both what? Maybe I'm just being dumb. I don't know what you mean, I'm sorry. I don't know how to get that back in the thing now. How do I, like, redock you? I don't know. Do you believe in the Jingle Peony? Literally, though. Lethal and... What's it called? Oh, what's that other one called? Oh, I forget what it is now. I forget the game. I did know it. Content warning, that was it. Yeah, content warning. I don't want to play either of those games. But yes, yes. Besties, I'm going to be honest. I don't know how to get the video preview back where it was. I popped it out and I don't know how to pop it back in again. No. Not like this. No. I wish I knew how to use my own editing software. That would be quite nice, to be honest. No, it's not split screen view. Oh, I'm so confused. I'm so confused. They look so fun. I'm a little scared tiny baby, and I don't want to. But thank you for being here too. Oh, okay, it's popped back in, but it looks funky now. Because I had minorly customized the look of it. What do I need? I want it to be like there. Yeah, that was good. And then that in there. But yeah, I was telling Vic this. It's so over. Like, it's so over for everybody now. Because I edit using this software with Sony Vegas. I don't think it's called Sony Vegas anymore, it's just called Vegas. But for especially like literally this clip, I wanted better text because I hate the way text is in this. So I've installed CapCut. I've done it. I've installed CapCut and I'm like, if a clip needs subtitles, it's getting CapCutted. And then I'm gonna plop it in to Sony Vegas for like the full final finished render thing. That's the plan. Yeah, plop it in, you're good to go. That's the move I've now discovered because like using putting text in to this, it's literally like Microsoft PowerPoint. It's so like just restricting in what you can do. Like no please. And now I'm going to be able to have fun text like that. And that text, why would anybody? But I remember that like text animation, the little wiggle, because Malay did a TikTok edit once of Uvik and had text like that, and I was like, that's so cool. And now I found it. It's so cute. The same with me with iMovie. Yeah, I got it. The wiggle, the little text wiggle's so good, and I got it from Malay. And I never forgot it, and then I found it on CapCut, and I was like, oh, yes, perfect. And so now I have little text wiggles, and it's very cute. So I am excited. I am excited to do more clips. No, to do more editing on this project. But like, when I get home from work, I just want to stream. I find myself wanting to stream. Well, okay, I'm going to show you another one. I'm going to do it. I'm showing you more. Wait, let me quickly... Can I save the layout? Save layout as the layout. Okay, layout saved. No, don't do that. Give, thank you. This is me showing you one more. If you watched my previous one, you may be very familiar with what's about to happen. And also, when some text pops up on screen, you can't judge how the text pops up because I've not finished animating that yet. Hi, Sabine. Can I just drop in? I did myself. I edited myself. It's cute. Hi though, hi Sabine. I'll be with you in one moment. What the fuck is that? Is that a banana?
It's a banana.
What? Okay. Okay.
It's a banana.
Don't come at me. That's just how I say.
Banana, banana.
Oh, you're cycling home. Oh, be safe, lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got
Fuck
the
you.
American.
Mimi, I don't think you quite comprehend the amount that Barry quotes that to me. Like, my own girlfriend does not let me live that down. Like, it's insane. Right. Anyway, though, yes, Sabine, if you're still lurking and cycling, cycle safely, and we'll chat soon. Yes, love you, friend. No, literally though, Barry. No, Mimi. If like the clip starts, if Barry goes like, "It's a banana," you can guarantee a minute later she's gonna go, "Potato, tomato," and it's like, right, thanks. Thank you. I'm Stephanie Barry. So am I. Fair enough. Like literally, Barry will just do the whole quote. Well, it'll just come out. Sensational. Sensational. Sorry, I've just clicked on a random point in the video and just laughed. Vic, I'm so sorry. But just as a still image, I love that. I love that so much. Yeah. Tomato. Mm-hmm. I love that photo so much. No. They're not happening. We don't need those emotes. We don't need it. I'm so excited for you to watch this video because once it's actually edited, it's going to be so funny. Once it's like, you know, done, it's going to be good. For the moment, it's a little rough, but that's okay. We're okay with this. I've successfully, like, motion tracked GIFs onto the head of a character. Like, I'm proud of my editing skills. Like, watch the little like lines coming off his head, and how they move with his head. Like, I'm proud of how they move. Thank you. I'm proud of that. I'm proud. Thank you. Yeah, there you go. They're all the emotes you need. Yes. That's clean. Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing good with my editing and tracking and... Yes, I'm proud. Thank you very much. The second half of this clip goes off the rails with an edit that I'm scared to show you because I think it's cringe, but it's fine. It's fine. And the compilation's already at like 20 minutes, like, oh god. Fine. I'm doing it. I need to show you now.
Yeah, they're the apostates. Why would anyone leave the circle?
Grass is always greener on the other side, isn't it? It's better to never be brought to than to try to escape it. I wouldn't risk it though.
Also, Emma, this is Mimi's voice, by the way. It Mimas.
To survive on their own, they're leaving the circle for a lifetime. If the Templars discover them, well, you know what happens. Then there are stories about the Dalish elf clan.
I'm hiding my face because it's cringe.
Who knows what's truth and what's fiction when it comes
I
to
think
the
I'm
Dalish.
supposed to be talking to that guy who's just staring at me. And he's just like, what the fuck? He's like, bitch, what you talking about, motherfucker? What you talking about? What was that? He's just like, ugh.
The prophecy is true.
I don't know. Like, it's funny, but I can't watch it back without thinking it's cringe anymore. Like, oh god. But you lot seem to like it, so thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It's going to be the vid of the year. Yeah, it's going to come out in like June, but that's okay. That's okay. It's fine. It's so good, shush. Also, I'm still obsessed with my like little well, I don't even know what you call it, but that little screen. I think that's so funny. I think it's so funny, and I made it in like 2022, and I use it in every video I ever make now, because I'm obsessed with it. And for Emma, that's Vic. That's Twinkly Tor. Cute. It's incredible. Thank you. Thank you. I love my friends, and I use clips of them, like, all of the time. I'm just going to play the whole fucking video, aren't I? No. This is the very next clip.
Did you hear Mara? Did you hear Mara?
You don't think you did? That's okay. After she poops, she likes to scream. Which, I mean, like, I guess, same. Don't say same.
Why did you say same? Like, no. Girl. No. Absolutely not. No. It's not same. No. I love you all, just so you're aware of this. Girl, what do you mean? What do you even... Right, I'm closing the editing software. It's closed. It's gone. It's done. It's done, because I need to end the stream in approximately half an hour ago. So, you know, Mimi did say I'm too close to the sun. Like, that was a step too far. But, you know... Okay, I actually should end the stream because my throat's starting to hurt and I need to go and wind down before I go to bed. So, looking at who's live, of course, Maddie Son is live. We could go raid Maddie. What are we talking about? You're basically perpetually sunburned. Oh, I'm sorry. That real sucks, friend. That sucks. Yeah. So, I could go raid Maddie because I've raided Maddie recently and we love Maddie. Ashley T. Cozy is streaming Breath of the Wild, which is what we just streamed. But I'm scared to raid Ashley T. Cozy because I've never, like, really interacted in her streams. I've only ever, like, raided with Vic. And that's, like, it. So I'm scared. I'm a little scared. Oh, always... Okay, yeah. The cogs turned. I got it. I got it. Always semi close to the sun. Literally, though, you always are. Cogs. The cogs turned, yes. The cogs did the thing. Yeah. GG's on cogging, thank you. Thank you. Right, I need to end the stream. I need to stop just sitting and, like, pondering. I need to end the stream. Oh. Interesting. I need to eat my weight in rice. You know what? Do that. Absolutely do that. That sounds great. You enjoy all of your rice. You're gonna smash it. I'm gonna go and eat an apple because then I can pretend that I'm healthy. And yeah. Barry, go to sleep. I see you still being here.
Go to bed.
Not that, oh shit, it's Freddy's B-Day. Well, happy birthday to Freddy. I hope you have a lovely time, whatever you both end up doing. If you're doing anything, because I know, you know, work and stuff. And it's Friday, isn't it? Yeah. So whatever you end up doing, I hope you have an amazing day. I hope they have an amazing day. Oh, Vic, I have to show you something. Unless you've seen my Discord message. In work, we've got in... Oh, Discord's changed. Oh. We have got in our store... We got these now. We've got like an Eevee binder to put all your Pokemon cards in. And I keep seeing them because there's a lot of Eevee things and I keep seeing Eevee stuff and thinking of you. But it's pretty. It's pretty. And then like there's all the special special packs at the moment as well with like Eevee cards and stuff. So yeah. I just wanted to, you know, share that and hee hee. The new collection is Eevee focused. It's so expensive. It's so bad. It's so bad, isn't it? I mean, girl, if you lived in the UK, like you'd have like an insider Pokemon buyer at this point. Like, you know, I got you if you were in the UK. But like, oh, it is here. Like, literally, Vic, I am not joking when I say the new Eevee sets, I work only afternoons and I've never seen them until today. Like, I am not, because I work afternoons, by the time I come in, they're gone. Like, literally. It's been crazy for Pokemon. So anyway, if you get a Red Bull, yeah, that's fair. Oh yeah, Mimi, you got one of the boxes, didn't you? I remember. Friends, I need to end the stream. Stop being fun and interesting. Yes, most expensive card was like $8. Ugh. That sucks. That sucks. $8 ball in truly though. Truly. I need to go to bed. I need to do this. Yes, you gotta eat. I gotta eat and then go to bed. Barry's gotta just go to bed. Oh, Ashley T Cozy is literally ending the stream, so we're not raiding Ashley. I could raid Maddie just like again. Just no fear raid again. Barry, you gotta go to bed. You got less than 4 hours of sleep last night. I'm exposing you to everybody in this channel right now. Less than 4 hours. Like, that's bad. Very please. Very plea. Literally very plea. I think Maddie's in like a really emotional cutscene. Oh, I'm overthinking. Hi, Sabine. Go to bed as well. You gotta go to bed. No. No one was to blame for that. No. This is censorship. You've been censored. I had nothing to do with it. This is a... What's the word? What's that word that people keep using to describe America right now? Oligarchy. No, that's not what this is, because I'm not rich and powerful. But I'm powerful. Dictatorship, there you go. It's a dictatorship, sure. Dictators? Precious. Oh, wow. I think those are the Kingdom Hearts end credits. Okay. Because I don't want to raid in a... Okay, I might just end the stream and be too scared. But, like, yeah, this looks like significant stuff. But, you know. I need to just end the stream. I need to just go. Kingdom Hearts end credits. I don't know what's happening. So, somebody in the cutscene's crying. Like, I don't think this is the moment for, like, hey, welcome raiders. Like, you know what I mean. Potatoes. Oh, literally credits are rolling. Yeah, okay. I think it's like emotional stuff. We're not going to raid Maddie right now. Okay, I'm going to end the stream. I'm going to put us on the ending screen. I love you all very, very much. Thank you for being here so much. I love you and miss you and want to hang out with all of you so very much. Yeah. Yeah, okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go and end, and you were a Kingdom Hearts gamer once. I remember that. I remember that era. Yes, have a good sleep all rest of your day, whatever it is that you're doing. And yeah, with the cloud version, oh, it was thick. It was rough. It was rough out there. That nostalgia, it was kind of mid. Listen, watching your playthrough, Vic, I was not inspired to play Kingdom Hearts myself. Like, I had a fun time, but I don't want to play it myself, thank you. Thumbs up. But good for everyone that enjoys it. And why is it called Kingdom Hearts 1.5? What's going on? I can't cope. The Disney stuff has the biggest appeal. I want to play 3 for Tangled and Frozen. Ooh, true. True. The release order, I can't cope. I can't cope. But we have Disney Dreamlight Valley for that, to be fair. Friends, I'm ending the stream. Friends, I love you. I have to go. I have to go because it's 10 to 1 in the morning. And no. Okay, so I will stream maybe tomorrow, but it's you know, who knows? Yeah, I hope maybe not. We'll see. I want to do more content footage streams. I want to get more of those done and in the can. So you may see me on some mornings Americans and Canadians, you probably won't see me because you'll be in bed. But I would like to do more of that soon. And yeah, okay. Silly music to end on. I love you all. Goodbye. Love you.
Squeak.